Chapter 6. Finance. Is it worth it? We now have a defined solution to the problem we identified. We know who our customers are who have this problem, and we know how we are better than the existing solutions. However, we also have to consider how we will actually make money. A company that has no income is just a hobby. Of course, we cannot forget that money will not only flow into the company as income, but also flow out as expenses. It is very rare for companies to make a profit from day one. In the initial phase, costs are usually much higher than revenue. Therefore, the growth curve is negative at the beginning, which means that we spend more than we earn. Such negative growth can last for a year or two. If we want to survive this period of negative growth, we often need initial capital investment, whether from an investor, a tender, our own savings, or from other sources. The amount of money needed depends on our solution. For example, if we develop a mobile application and have a programmer on the team, the investment in the company is primarily the programmer's time. However, if we want to make furniture, we need to buy machines and materials. 1. Revenue. A business without revenue is not a business, it's a hobby. For a successful business, we need a clear picture of how and for how much money we will offer our solution. This will set up a sales model. There are a variety of sales models, therefore, we will only focus on the most common ones. Sale of a physical product or service at a fixed price. The most basic sales model is the sale of a physical product or service. People are used to this business model because we encounter it every day. Our solution is, for example, sunscreen, which we sell for €4.99, or a 30-minute massage for €60. If our service changes, it will be difficult to use such business model. Hourly rate. Take the example of legal service. Lawyers cannot uniformly charge for their services because the final price depends on the amount of work involved. Instead, we can take a constant, which in this case is an hourly rate. For example, the hourly rate of a lawyer is €80. The final price is, therefore, calculated based on an hourly rate multiplied by the number of hours worked. Subscription or advertising revenue. For digital products, e.g., mobile applications, we can opt for a subscription payment, a one-time purchase, the purchase of individual parts of the application, virtual currency, often for mobile games, or we can even offer the application free, with revenue generated by advertising within the application. A combination of several models. If our solution allows it, we can, of course, also use a combination of several models. A hairdressing salon is a service activity. Instead of charging a fixed price for the type of haircut per hour, however, it can sell cosmetics in addition to the haircut, and even offer advertising space for other providers on its premises. Investment. We must be aware that selling a solution is by no means the only possible source of revenue, especially at the beginning of the entrepreneurial path, when sales are still low. We can also use other sources of financing. If our solution is good enough and we are convincing enough, we can find an investor who would be willing to invest money in our company in return for a stake. We can apply for several municipal, state, or international tenders, provided we naturally meet the conditions. The equity we invest in a company when it is founded is also a source of money. Pricing. Once we have decided on the sales model, we have to set the price. This is by no means an easy task. Normally, we do this in 4 steps. 1. Estimate how much it costs to make a product. Our price can certainly not be lower than this estimate. The price should be at least 2 to 3 times higher than the cost of manufacturing the product. 2. We try to find all competitive solutions that already exist on the market and check how much they cost. This way, we can get a rough estimate of how much customers are willing to pay for a similar solution. If such a solution does not yet exist, we look for solutions that are otherwise different from ours but solve the same problem. 3. When we have a rough estimate, we conduct interviews with potential customers to determine how much they would be willing to pay for our solution. 4. The best test for selling products is the sale itself. During interviews, people often promise us a purchase that they do not make for this or other reasons. The statement of potential customers that your product is interesting has a small value. The question of when you can deliver the first products or provide a service has a much bigger value. Homework. Think about and write down which sales model best suits your solution. In other words, how you will sell your product or service. Calculate or estimate how much it will cost the company to make one product. Multiply the resulting sum by 3. This is the gross price of your product. Then check the prices of competing products. Do the numbers match? If your price is significantly higher, consider whether you can reduce the cost of manufacturing the product. For example, by purchasing materials in large quantities, which gives you a discount on the purchase price. If competitors' prices are higher, you have a product that is cheaper than the competition, and this can be your advantage. During the meeting with the mentor, you will review and revise the system of the sales model and the amount of the sales price. 2. Expenses. In the same way that a company generates revenue through sales, it also generates expenses through the use of assets and the purchase of materials. It is very important to include all channels where you will need investment. The investment is money, but often also time. The most common expenses in companies: production materials, machines, rent of premises, accounting, customer acquisition, which is marketing, sales, business cards, and other advertising materials, electricity, water, and so on, website, web hosting, and an online store, logistics costs, costs for hiring external knowledge. For example, if we need a chemist and do not have him in the team, we will have to hire one. And the biggest cost is salaries. Let's not forget the labor costs, our own salary. Even if we decide to work for free at the beginning, we cannot do this for a long time because we have to survive somehow. It is also very important to understand the difference between net and gross wages. Young people, in particular, are often shocked when they learn that the company has to pay 2,000 or more euros a month for their 1,200 euro salary. Homework. Take a walk through all the fields of the business canvas and think about how much each field will cost you. Write down the amounts. The team is especially important. In the team, we need to consider salaries and marketing costs. You will discuss your results at the meeting with your mentor.